Welcome back to Cryptos Are Us. I'm George. We're all George. So today, we got to talk about two major things. Inflation. CPI data shows inflation is down in a big way. Does that mean we no longer have to worry about higher prices? Let's talk about that and talk about Bitcoin and crypto recovering today and what it means overall. Let's do this. Welcome, guys. Market bell has just rung. Today, U.S. market is looking pretty darn good. Look at that right now. Dow is up about 350, NASDAQ up about 264, and this is because of this big reading. Okay, so every month, in case you're not aware, every month there is a reading, and CPI is the data that most people use to measure inflation. And we went down more than expected, and finally investors can get a relief, I guess, okay? Because there was some worry that inflation would continue to rise back up, which would be a bad thing overall for the economy and put Powell in a very bad position to then think about another rate hike. But luckily, we didn't get that. You know, back in June, inflation dipped to 3%, and then we started going up, 3.2, 3.7, 3.7, then boom, we dropped back down to 3.2%. It was anticipated we were going to drop to 3.3%, but, it came in better than expected. And core inflation also dropped 0.1% from 4.1 to 4, and this is measuring October, not this month. Till next month, we'll measure November. So, overall, that's good, right? U.S. Treasury, 10-year yields, a lot of yields started going under today, a big drop today because of this, okay, which, again, is a good thing, especially when it comes to like mortgages, for example. Mortgages should be going down, and also business loans should be going down because of this. So this will, spur up some economic activity, which is good, and also, make people less fearful, so they jump into equities and crypto, okay? But the problem is, with all this data showing that inflation's going down, but why are the costs of goods and services still so high? I don't see them going down at all. And if you happen to be living in a country that suffers from hyperinflation like Argentina, right, you're struggling to even buy clothes as their inflation hits 143%, okay? So the bottom line is this. I do believe inflation has become entrenched, fast food, groceries, eating out, going out, travel, airfare, amusement parks, wherever you may want to spend money. It's going up and up and up and up and up, okay? It's not coming down. And if the U.S. continues to be irresponsible with its debt and with money printing, inflation will never come down and only get worse. It doesn't matter what CPI reads. Cost of goods, cost of living will continue to go up, okay? And hopefully not to Argentina levels of 143 ever in our lifetimes, but every major fiat currency eventually fails due to irresponsible printing. Every single one. So, again, it's one of those, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. And hopefully that when is not within any of our lifetimes. But that's what inflation does. It robs people of their wealth, right? That's why we have Bitcoin. That's why Satoshi created Bitcoin. We have something that hedges against inflation, something that can counter the irresponsible printing, right? That's why we buy Bitcoin. We hold Bitcoin long term because nothing outperforms Bitcoin long term. Just want to get that out of the way. Okay, now, as for Bitcoin and crypto, well, like I said last night, it dipped a little bit. okay? But not all is lost. Obviously, we're still right around 37,000. We're still way above where we were just a week, 2 weeks ago and a month ago. So definitely not time to be panicking and looking to exit a market. This is not the time for that. We have so many good things and catalysts coming up in the near future. Grayscale Trust converting to spot Bitcoin ETF is one of them. This is kind of crazy if you look at it, though. This is looking at how much Bitcoin is controlled by Satoshi, which is around 1 million. Okay, never been touched. Not one even sat has ever been moved. So you could just consider that as supply removed forever. No one will ever touch that. And then you see the yellow, which is controlled by Grayscale. They hold like 650,000 Bitcoins. A lot. So what better company to have the very first Bitcoin spot ETF than Grayscale, since they control so much already? And then you look at MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy wants to catch up. They keep buying and buying and buying. Maybe one day they will have as much as Grayscale. But you figure by that time, there's just not that many left, right? So these are just like three entities, which control a massive amount. But now you got others like BlackRock and Vanguard and Fidelity and ARK. They're all trying to get a piece as well. And they're all fighting for what remains. And what remains is not a whole lot. So this is why Bitcoin is so good at being a hedge against inflation, because the scarcity factor, supply factor, it's a major deal. And supply is diminishing and demand keeps on increasing. Okay, so just look at it. Illiquid and liquid supply both are going down. Down and down and down and down. And there's only about 2 million Bitcoins left on the exchanges, and even that is going down in a major way, okay? And going forward, the next 10 years, 20 years, we will see the supply go down to such low levels, it really becomes near impossible for anyone at that point in time to accumulate even a single Bitcoin. Right now, you guys have the gift to be able to buy Bitcoin around 37,000, which I know is a lot of money, but it's a gift because 4 years from now, 4 years after this next halving event, so 6 years from now, people will have to pay possibly $370,000 or $500,000 for a single Bitcoin. And then the cycle after that, people may have to pay $3 million for a single Bitcoin. So, I mean, just think about it. And that's not so far off in the future. We're not even talking about like 5 decades or 3 decades. We're talking about within 10 years that may be happening. So, what we have today is a gift, okay? The entire space is a gift because it's so early. We can accumulate as much as we can still, because in the future, the future generation just cannot. And when I say future generation, it's really still us because we're not that old yet. But the people that are not in this space, let's say, if they want to get in, it's just simply too late. This is the time to be loading up. And that's why also the Bitcoin miners are going crazy right now. It's a frenzy to push the hash rate up. Not that they want to, because they just want to mine as much as possible. Because every single halving event removes half of the Bitcoins, the Bitcoin's inflation rate. So every block releases less Bitcoin, so it gets harder and harder to get rewarded in Bitcoin for securing the network. Okay, so they're pushing. The hash rate is skyrocketing right now. And what this may do is drive out a lot of the smaller miners. But the big miners right now, they are loading up as much as possible. And they're hoarding every single Bitcoin that they get. They're not going to let go, because as big as they are, They're nobodies compared to BlackRock. In fact, most of them are owned by BlackRock. BlackRock has a huge equity share in almost every single miner out there. Same deal with Fidelity and Vanguard and all these other asset managers. They basically own every single miner already. So they're already involved. But that just shows you how big someone like BlackRock is. And yesterday we had some, I think, fake news about BlackRock trying to push out a XRP spot ETF, but they are definitely pushing out an Ethereum spot ETF, and they explain, or NASDAQ, they're trying to list on NASDAQ, and NASDAQ is trying to explain how SEC must approve this, okay? Because this is how you really protect the consumers, because right now, if people want exposure to ETH, they might go to other riskier avenues. That's what they say. I don't know. Buying ETH itself is not that risky, okay? But they're trying to argue that, yeah, maybe other people go to like ETPs or go to other nations and try to buy like, Ethereum ETPs or Ethereum, ETFs from worldwide. I don't know. That's what they're arguing. But anyways, again, if BlackRock wants in, generally speaking, they're going to get in, right? So they're not just competing for Bitcoin now. They're competing for Ethereum. So watch out. Ethereum has been getting a little bit stronger recently, okay? Network fees are now starting to go up, 4-month high. Why is that? I don't know. Maybe BlackRock, maybe they're starting to buy because they're loading up on ETH on the back end. Something's happening. So Ethereum is starting to come up and gain strength. Now it's holding above 2,000. Even though yesterday, when Bitcoin went down a little bit, Ethereum was still holding above 2,000. So starting to gain strength. But I'm just saying, all these big boys, once they come in fully, the price is going to be driven a lot higher for all of these because they will be buying and they will be causing others to FOMO in and buy because no one wants to miss out on this bull run. And everyone knows it. Like literally everyone in Wall Street knows that the halving event is coming up. They're not dummies, okay? Back in 2021, I think a lot of them are still turning a blind eye, still hoping that crypto goes away. But now, coming in 2024, 2025, they can't do that anymore. They will look like idiots, and they will be fired if they do. The funny thing is, I used to have this article about, I think it was 2022 or 2021. Let me just bring it up real quick. 2021, hedge fund. This blows me away. This really blows me away. Let me show you guys something that I found. I found this last year, but hold on. I'm deviating a little bit, but this is good stuff. Oh, I'm trying to find this chart. Well, I have to find it in Q&A. I don't want to hold this up. But what I was trying to show you is there in 2022 there was a graph that came out that showed the performance of the top hedge funds in 2021. And most of them were still in the red. Okay? They didn't even make money in 2021. And they certainly, almost all of them didn't even outperform the S&P 500, and only one outperformed Bitcoin, right? So, I mean, that's the reason why they can't ignore Bitcoin this time around. Because if they do, their performance is going to trail, like it's going to trail very hard, and then they will get fired. So no one is going to miss out on this bull run. No one, okay? Now, speaking of bull run, this shows you how many dips happen in a bull run, okay? It's easy to zoom out and just assume that everything just goes up like this. And this is what I was trying to explain last night. Many times you have dips. You have these consolidations. They're normal because they're the market makers. They're whales trying to drive out leverage traders. They liquidate them, right? And also sometimes things just get too hot. and the market needs to recover a little bit, right? There's many reasons why. But look at these dips. In 2017, look at those horrendous dips. 43%, 40% minus, okay? Negative 43, minus 40, minus 34, 34, 40, 41, 31. Those are horrendous dips if you think about it. That's saying like 10,000 down to 6,000. That's enormous. Okay, that's like saying from where we are 37,000 and dropping to like 20,000. That's how big those dips are. So they're not small dips. They're not like a 5% correction. And same thing in 2021. We had 23 minus 15, minus 23, minus 15, minus 32, minus 23, minus 26. Those were major, major, major corrections. And then even coming in from bottom, we had a minus 23 and minus 24, right? And even we get another one right now. Let's say we have another minus 23 or 20%, right? That does not mean we're not in a bull run. That's perfectly normal. That's why I tell you guys, don't be afraid of short-term volatility. You got to concentrate long-term on a bigger picture because, yes, Bitcoin doesn't just go up like a rocket ship to the moon without stopping. It does stop periodically, right? And some of these dips last a long time. They last maybe weeks. It's not just like a day and we move forward. Okay, so if we do get another dip while we're heading upwards, perfectly normal. But I love this chart to kind of show you guys, yeah, the dips are okay. And the best way to think about them, they're a gift. They're a gift from the Bitcoin gods, allowing you to buy more Bitcoin and stack sats for cheaper. Okay, it's like going to Target and finding something that's 25% off or 50% off, right? Something that you really love. It's a gift. So that's the best way to look at it. I honestly think that is the best way to look at it. Okay. Yeah. So this is where we are. Okay. This is exactly where we are. Again, we're in a bull market. We have broken out a lot of these trends, these resistances that has been holding us back, right? But we have broken out all of them. Every single one, every single major one, a Fibonacci level or some kind of moving average or some kind of resistance or something, okay? Some kind of channel, some kind of wedge. There's a million of them out there. But you don't need any of them to tell you that Bitcoin is going higher, okay? Because of growing fundamentals. And because of the flight to quality that's happening, and because of the halving event, and because of the spot ETF approval around the corner. I mean, these things will tell you Bitcoin is going higher, okay? So you don't even need this to tell you that, but I'm going to show you anyways because this is projecting Bitcoin being around $260,000 by the end of 2025. That may be where we end up. 250,000, I can't comprehend it. I don't think any of you guys can comprehend how enormously huge that is. To own a single Bitcoin, to be at $250,000, just let that sink in. It may seem silly now, but once we break above 100,000, then it really becomes a reality. Going from 100 to 200,000, not that far-fetched, right? Right now, it still seems like, well, we're only at 37,000. Can we even hit 100,000? Just wait until we break 100,000. Then reality sets in, and then you're like, oh, this may be happening. 250,000, what does that mean for everything else? Ethereum could be at 30,000 by then. And Solana may be at 10,000. I don't know. It could be really, really high. No, I'm just kidding. Solana's not going to be at 10,000. But at Ethereum, 30,000 may be far-fetched. But, you know, everything will be way higher, way, way, way higher than it is now. And that's what we have to look forward to. It's going to be crazy. Here's another one, you know, showing the multiplier effect from the bottom to the top. 2017, we went up 95x. In 2021, we went up 16x. This time around, do we go up 10x? I mean, obviously there's diminishing returns. We're not going to go up 95x from our bottom. That would be nutty, okay? That won't happen. But can we do a 10x from the bottom? Can we do a 11x? Can we do a possibly a 15 or 16x? Certainly, especially with the institutional money coming in. So where does that put us? From the bottom of 15,000, well, 10x gets us 150,000, right? So again, going up to 150, 200, 250, really not that far-fetched, especially if you look at history. This is what Bitcoin does. This is why we're in it, right? And speaking of, oops, I already showed that. There was an article that I closed. I was gonna show you. There was a major gaming company out of Hong Kong that just decided to throw some Bitcoin in their treasury, right? So again, speaking of institutional interest, everyone is loading up right now. Okay, so great time. What's that quote I've been saying? It's better to be greedy than fearful right now when it comes to Bitcoin. It really is. All right. Now, speaking outside of Bitcoin, what is there? Just obviously a lot of alts are recovering today. Solana's back up to 57, but not only that, you got Polygon that's closing in at $1. You got Chainlink that's up again. Polkadot, Avalanche almost back up to 18. It's a good recovery from yesterday, which wasn't really a major dip at all. It really wasn't. Yesterday, just things cooled off a little bit. That's all. But we didn't lose any of the gains from before, right? But today we're like kind of just roaring back. I would not be surprised. Bitcoin pumps above 37,000 again. We try to retest 38,000 in the near future. So I mean, today's just good. It's a good recovery, I guess. A lot of you guys are Polygon fans. I just said it's closing in at $1. Institutional interest coming in. Institutional interest is coming in everywhere. Every major L1, you're starting to see money come in, money inflows. People could see that, and plus they're using them. They're using these chains for something. A lot of partnerships, a lot of game development. A lot of things happening, and Polygon also, they're working on not only Polygon 2.0, but their ID system, which is a whole framework that they're trying to build out for the entire crypto space, right? That's awesome. And also they have this partnership with Aave to release a whole bunch of social stuff, social graph lens, okay, from Aave, but can be applied to everywhere within Polygon. So they're working on it, right? So they're working on a lot of stuff, and these are all great things. And Optimism also. Optimism has been really hot. I saw this because someone from Polygon moved to Optimism as their chief growth officer. But Optimism is also L2 that's been really hot. They are even now bigger than Arbitrum, which is once upon a time that seemed like that was outrageous. That would have been outrageous, but not anymore. Look at Optimism. They're also doing pretty well. 1.6 billion, and Arbitrum is down here at 1.4. So, and I just got done talking about Aave, 1.4 billion, right? A lot of these companies or projects, I should say, are recovering in a big way. In a big way. But just yesterday I showed where these companies, or again, projects were in 2021. They still have to go up 3x, 5x, 8x, 10x. Some of them have to go up like 100x to get back to their previous level, to the previous high. So it's still so early. Just in regards to getting back to their previous highs. Not even breaking to new highs. Just getting back. There's so much money to be made there, right? It's just, that's it. We got a crazy amount of people tuned in today. That's good. I love it. 5,300 people. Make sure you guys all smash the like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out. And today, the U.S. market is roaring upwards. That's awesome. All right, let's do some Q&A. All right. Let me see if I missed anything. Phil says 35 Big Macs coming. We laugh, but I don't know if you guys paid attention. Big Macs have gotten more expensive, yes. And the patties, you know, I still remember maybe like, I don't know, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago, a Big Mac patty was a normal size patty. Now, if you look at a Big Mac patty, it's like this, right? It's just all bread. You remove the bread, the patty is like a sausage patty now. You know, that's what they do. So even though we get inflation data that shows inflation's going down, but the cost of goods, cost of living overall, okay, cost of living is not going down. Inflation is entrenched and it's never going to go away. That's why we need to hold something that outperforms inflation like Bitcoin. What is the future of these crazy network fees? Only for certain chains like ETH, where you see network fees really go upwards in a big way during congestion. Others that are pretty scalable, they don't have high fees. Papa Bear Studio. So I'm not sure who you're referring to. Maybe Ethereum. But others that are more scalable, like Solana, Cardano, Polygon, you know, the Avalanche, fees are quite low. Do you recommend attending Bitcoin conference in 2024? It's in Nashville. I mean, if you enjoy listening to speakers, it's a great event to go to. If you enjoy talking to people in this space, there's a lot of vendors there, a lot of projects. If you and there's a lot of people, random people, famous people walking around. If you like that kind of setting, then great. Yes, then you should definitely go. I've gone to two of them. I've gone to this one in 2023 and 2022, and I enjoyed myself. Mostly not for the speakers, but mostly just to network with people. So yeah, I thought it was worth it. Headache gone for last night? Yes. Yes. Thank you for asking. Can we get a triple top at 60, 70K and get rejected back in the bear market next cycle? No. The answer is no. Can we get rejected and go down and then continue back up? Yes. DJ says, we'll be attending Web Summit in 2023. They're talking a lot about the future. Crypto business, the future will be around blockchain for sure. Yeah, that's good for you. And yes, 100% correct. I want to host and create my own Web3 and crypto conference in Maryland. Any suggestions? Know that it's going to take a lot of money. If you truly want to do a huge event, I would suggest if you're just getting started, just do a meetup. You know, just do a smaller meetup and see where that goes. Even for myself, you know, I've decided I'm not going to throw a huge WAG conference. It's just so much. There's too much planning, too much money involved to jump in right away. So I'm doing a lot of mini events next year. So I would suggest doing that. Janelle, should I sell or keep my Condena? Any advice? I can't give you that advice. You have to decide that for yourself. Will Litecoin ever be adopted by institutions? No. Why would they adopt Litecoin when there's Bitcoin? It makes no sense. Do you think ETFs will end or at least reduce the next 4-year cycle? I don't think it's going to end it because of the halving event. But yes, it can reduce. When Bitcoin jumps up to over 200, 300,000, yeah, I think we're going to see less drastic drops. And same thing, going to the upside, we can't do like a 10x every single time. But, you know, we'll still have from 300,000 to a million. Maybe that's the next cycle. That's only a 3x. So I think, yeah, it will diminish the 4-year cycle, both upside and downside, as Bitcoin gets larger and larger. Yeah, Simon, just go. Yeah, if there are Web3 like meetups and stuff, go to them first and talk to people and see how you like it. Then, if you want to host, do your own. It's yeah, it's a good plan. What was the purpose of the fake XRP filing? The purpose was to pump XRP, and it failed. What do I think about Immutable X? I like them. Their latest game was it Avalanche? No, that was Avalanche. But Immutable X also has some triple O games coming, and they come out their own chain. I like Immutable. I think they're going in the right direction. Smoke ETH every day. As now, I'm all in on Bitcoin and my second cycle. Should I be looking more at alts versus Bitcoin? Um, if you're all in Bitcoin, then yeah, I would suggest so because alts give you more bang for the buck, so to speak, when it comes to returns. Okay, Bitcoin will give you solid returns, and it's okay if you're just sticking with Bitcoin, but alts, especially towards like the latter, half of the parabolic run. So in 2025, like June beyond, that's when you're going to see alts go up majorly. So a lot of them do 10x, 20x, you know, um, in a very, very short amount of time. You don't think we'll get a secondary scare? Some in this space are calling for retesting of lows. Phil, we've gone through this. You just have to pay attention. Okay. Um, Screw all the charts. Look at the fundamentals. I show the fundamentals like pretty much every week in terms of network activity, high, all time high, hash rate, all time high, number of addresses, all time high, number of long term holders, all time high, number of, Bitcoins being held from point 0.1 to 1, 1 to 10, 10 to 100, all time highs. Exchange reserves keeps dropping to not all time lows, but it's getting there. The fundamentals of Bitcoin has never been better. So, and compound that with the halving event, which is coming up, and historically speaking, after the halving event, Bitcoin has always gone up with a spot ETF. How can you say that Bitcoin is going to retest a low at this point? I don't think anyone's calling for that. I think you may be working on some outdated data because even the most bearish people don't call for a 12 or 10K Bitcoin at this point. So, I don't rely on the lines. I look at the macro factor plus with the rates, the US, with the rate hikes stopping now, okay? We're going to get rate cuts next year, which also makes markets go upwards. So you just gotta read the room. You gotta put two and two together, and there's a lot of twos and twos adding together that say Bitcoin is going higher. So I just don't see it. Phil, when you say Ben is saying that, which Ben? Cowan or Armstrong? Or is there another Ben that I'm not aware of? Ben the mailman. Yeah, I don't know which Ben you're talking about. Myro says, "Hi, BDC Maxi here. Here I am in the tech industry. Increasingly keep hearing about Filecoin. The project looks very legit with a lot of promised thoughts. Okay, why don't you share, since you're in the file industry, what you've been hearing about Filecoin? Because I'm actually curious about that. I know what Filecoin's about, but I want to hear what you're hearing within the industry." Deuce Biggs, I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Noah, Will Coin Talk, welcome. Welcome. Is BlackRock a big company? Blake, I hope you're kidding. I hope you're not serious about that, because they are considered the biggest company on the planet. Here we go. Since people love lines, I could show that. No, I'll just keep this up. BlackRock is just a small family business in Alaska. Just kidding. Okay, so just keep in mind, folks, okay, as we get higher, there will be corrections. And every single correction, you got the naysayers coming out saying, well, that's it. We're going to go lower and we're going to crash and maybe form a new low. I still don't know who's saying that. Every single time, we're going to get the same people coming out saying the same things. And those are people that have cost a lot of people tremendous gains over the years in 2021 and also in 2017. And they'll probably go do the same thing in 2025, right? But we are definitely in recovery mode. All the data shows it. On-chain metrics show it. Fundamentals show it. The macro environment is helping propel more people in. And we just got so many catalysts also. There's a lot of great things. There are a lot of great things right now. So today, let's see. Solana is still quite strong. You got Polygon is still quite strong. Let's see. Avalanche still quite strong. OKB has been really strong. They're the coin from OKX. They're approaching 4 billion, man. I don't know what's going on with OKB, but they're quite strong. Let's see. Cosmos has been moving up recently, but they took a dip yesterday. Looking forward to them coming back up. A lot of people were asking about Chronos at the peak. Everyone's like, look at Chronos, right? Look at CRO. They are still going up in a big way. You can't ignore 74% gain in 30 days, but I don't know. I just don't trust them enough. Hedera and Aptos and ICP, they all have come up quite a lot within the last 30 days. Caspa is exploding right now. No idea why, but 32% this week, and they're doing very well today. Thorchain also. A lot of people have asked me about Thorchain. Rune, right? They're just like a big DEX chain, right? They're a whole chain dedicated on their DEX and liquidity pools. So it's never been that appealing to me, but man, 200% in the last 30 days, that's hard. That's hard to ignore. But yeah, they're climbing the ranks majorly. Gary says hi from Malaysia. Ator, never heard of Ator, man. I bet that's a very small project. Actually, I'm wrong. 150 million. That's not too small. Leveraging blockchain for sovereignty. Empowers decentralized internet relay operators through on-chain rewards. Okay, so this is the one where, yeah. I'm gonna say no to this. There are a ton of projects that's trying to create like a new internet, okay, using nodes, and it's just very, very, very hard to do. Very hard to do. A lot already exists. So, I mean, very hard to do, meaning becomes big and billions of people will be using it. It's just tough for that to happen. I don't know. That doesn't mean that needs to happen for it to do well, okay, but not something I'm particularly interested in. What do you think the best DEX currently? It has to be Uniswap. Everyone uses Uniswap. Everyone uses Uniswap. So there's really no second best. Favorite L2. At this point, it has to be, if it's a pure L2, it's hard because I used to say, see, a lot of these definitions have changed. I used to say that I like Polygon a lot, and I still do, but they're not really a L2 anymore. They're like a L1. And, you know, I like Avalanche a lot, but they're like a L0 now. And Cardano is becoming a L0, really, so because they are introducing all these side chains. Solana, I think, no, Solana is not an L2 either. So I would have to say something like someone like Optimism, right? Optimum Arbitrum, they're so close, but I would say Optimism because of Base. Base is causing a lot of people to come in from Coinbase, and it shares the Optimism code. But yeah, I don't know. I still like Phantom, but Phantom's also like kind of like an L1. There's really actually not that many L2s, but it's okay. Man, the U.S. market is soaring today because of inflation. Bitcoin still holding about 36.5. Love to see it go higher. Like right now, I actually think a lot of the money is either flowing into the alts or into equities market right now because it's NASDAQ is on fire right now with almost plus 300. But that's okay. It's just a matter of time before we get another leg up. PancakeSwap for the win. PancakeSwap also has been doing very well. Extremely well. Quite big. The biggest DEX on Binance Chain, but they have branched out. I think they're EVM compatible now too. Last 7 days, not so much. Last month, up about 100%. 100% in one single month. That's not too bad. Steven, it is. Coinbase is expensive. I know a lot of people that use Coinbase. I mean, I think they're charging 1% for every fee, for every transaction. 1 or 1.5%, something like that. They are very expensive, but as for security, I guess, if you think about it, they're probably the best, especially their custody service, because BlackRock and all these guys, all their custodians listed are, I'm saying is Coinbase, and MicroStrategy uses Coinbase as a custodian. Basically, everyone does. I'm pretty sure Grayscale probably does too. Everyone uses Coinbase to store their Bitcoin. Do I hold any coins in a Caspian wallet? No, I did not. I never heard of that wallet. Yeah, a lot of people have been asking about Celestia, and I have looked into them, and they're pumping up majorly right now. Man, they're doing really well, almost $1 billion. Yesterday I covered them, they were like 600 million. Yeah, they seem to be making moves. I still don't quite get their pump. They're listed on some good exchanges though, Coinbase and Binance and KuCoin, so they got the exchange support. So they're like a modular blockchain, which isn't new. That's been done before. They have made some partnerships, but any real reason to explain their tremendous growth right now? No, but hey, maybe they're just good. But one thing that is concerning though is if you look at a circuit supply versus their total supply, very little, right? Very little. That's only 14%. They only release 14%. So at some point, the rest of it is going to be unlocked and released. So that might be a concern. Retro Bill, thank you. This is my favorite channel. My wife and I have over BTC and equal amounts of alts, but more importantly, we both call each other George. That might get a little weird in the bedroom, but you know, as long as it works for you guys, I'm glad. But congratulations for both of you guys becoming a whole coiner. All right, guys, I'll let you go. Overall today, inflation is down. The Bitcoin crypto is up. Okay, I'd like to see it up more. Let's see what happens for the remainder of this day. But right now, you know, it's not time to be panicking. It's not time to be questioning whether or not we're in a bull market. We definitely are. Okay, retracement is normal. And even we do go down more. It's perfectly normal. Just look at all the times it has happened before. But we are we're not in danger. We are definitely in the bull run. And there's greater days coming, for sure. All right, guys. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. I will see you guys tonight, 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. All right? Have a good one, guys. Take care.